Let's explore customizing your screening view so you can see the results you expect to make it more useful for you going forwards, and also working with the screen results that come back. So if you've saved a screen, such as our high quality yield screen we created, if you click Edit, there are a couple of things you can do. Firstly, you can change the sort order. So let's sort by the yield once again and update. And this will now sort by yield descending. There is also another functionality here. If you want to try and find more results, you could include dual listed shares. This is not clicked by default, and this will bring in any shares that have their primary listing on a foreign stock exchange but have a dual list in, let's say, the UK. And that's added another 8 shares. For example, it may have added a share which is a very large cap that you may expect in your original results but is currently excluded because it's a dual list. If you save that again, you can also, of course, increase the number of results in your screen by broadening your universe to other regions. Here you can see, if we look at Europe, has a lot more results. Let's go back to the UK. If we go and look at our table view, we can see this includes just a few fields that are available from our screen rules. But what if we want to add other different metrics in the view which are related to our screen results, but we don't want to add them as rules? We do this by clicking Customize. If you click Customize, you will again see the familiar metrics picker, but also on the right here, you will then see a representation of your table view in a vertical list. Let's add dividend cover, which is a common measure of dividend safety. If I click Add Column, it now is added, and I can drag this up or down to wherever I want it to be. And when I click Apply Changes, you'll then see that dividend cover has been added into my table. And I can keep doing this for other fields that I might want. For example, let's say I want to add the quotes. I want to add the last price and the percentage change on the day. I can do that. And once again, I can drag them up to wherever I want them to be. One little trick is that in miscellaneous at the bottom here, you will also find a separator column, which I find quite handy for separating different classes of field. So let me add that a couple of times. And you will see, once I apply changes, that I've now got some sets. I've got the quotes here, the yield and the cover here, and sector and ranks on the right. And by the way, we do have different table views that are already preset. So you can look at the StockRanks view by using this drop down. You can also look at, for example, the quality view to look at common quality metrics, or you could look at the income view. Do explore them, and this will give you lots of different yields and different safety measures all in one view. But let's go back to the screen view, because whenever I click on this in my sidebar, this will be the default. Once I've got that as I like it, by the way, you can add 25 different fields into your view, and if it gets unwieldy, you can of course hide the sidebar by clicking the X here. But let's think about how we want to work with our results. There are a few ways to do this. Many people want to export the results into a spreadsheet. And down at the bottom, you'll see a download button. And you can download to a CSV, an Excel spreadsheet, or you can just copy the data into a clipboard. If I do that, for example, I use Google Sheets, you can then paste them straight into a spreadsheet. And of course, you can then do things like calculate the average, using your spreadsheet tool of choice, whether it's Excel or Google Sheets or another. You can also use the results by clicking the checkboxes in the side here. And if I do that, I can then add them to a portfolio. Let's say I've got a watch list set up, click Add, and they'll be taken to that watch list, which means then if I found yielding shares from different parts of the site, I can keep adding them to that list and build it up over time. That will always be available under folios. Once again, there is one other thing I'd like to show you, that if you do click a couple in the sidebar, you can click the compare button, which gives you a vertical side-by-side view of each share against each other, which can be another good way of assessing shares against common pieces of data, which we do publish on stock reports, but in a side-by-side view. So I hope this gets you started with doing further research on your shares.